Ep21 presents Tiny Tales of Transformation. Episode 21:
Co-construction and transformation.
Business transformation is a social, organizational, and decision-making process. In SMEs in particular, one factor determines the speed, the quality, and the sustainability of a change. It is the involvement of stakeholders from the outset, through a structured co-construction approach. Why is this so decisive? Because transformation simultaneously changes the rules of work, performance criteria, and the distribution of responsibilities. These three dimensions must, of course, be part of a project plan, but they truly live within the teams, in day-to-day interactions, and in local decision-making. When transformation is designed at the top and then rolled out at all levels, it is missing critical input for adoption. Conversely, a design that involves the right stakeholders early on increases the accuracy of choices, reduces costly iterations, and builds execution capabilities from the outset. Co-construction is a collaborative approach that generates decision-making based on specific principles. The first principle is useful representation. Stakeholders must be selected because they hold key insights. Process owners, KPI owners, frontline managers, and field representatives capable of describing the gaps between what is prescribed and what is actually happening. In an SME, it is often the same people who carry operational reality and day-to-day decisions. Excluding them at the outset means depriving the project of its best intelligence. The second principle is about the clarity on what is to be co-constructed. Transformation is a strategic decision from which we then co-construct shaping options, the scope of priorities, the operational target, decision-making rules, success criteria, sequencing, and adoption mechanisms. Detailed planning and the production of deliverables are part of the execution phase. The third principle is explicit decision-making. Co-construction preserves accountability and prepares decisions to be made. It produces options, compromises, measurable impacts, and adoption risks. Management then makes a decision based on these elements, giving the change a legitimate and stable foundation. The fourth principle is validation through practice. Effective co-construction materializes through prototypes, scenarios, real-world testing, and short feedback loops from the field. Far from abstract debates, it is a true engineering of adoption. At this stage, roles become very concrete. Senior management sets the framework: aspirations, limits, constraints, and performance criteria. Middle management translate these choices into the organization of work and day-to-day coordination. Business experts and frontline teams bring the reality of workflows, exceptions, and dependencies and identify the practical conditions for adoption. And then the project team orchestrates, structures decisions, and ensures the pace is maintained. Co-construction is therefore a genuine and rigorous distribution of contributions, at the right time and on the right subjects. Why must this co-construction be initiated by those high up in the hierarchy? Because involving stakeholders early changes the way decisions are made. Trade-offs become visible, cross-functional tensions are exposed, priorities are adjusted, and resources are sometimes reallocated. This can only work if the initiative is carried by a level capable of setting shared priorities, authorizing the time invested, and protecting the approach from competing emergencies. Thanks to this executive impulse, co-construction becomes a driver of execution. In this context, Ep21's support ensures productive co-construction. This means running workshops, structuring options, measuring impacts, organizing test loops, and avoiding classic deadlocks such as debates without decisions, vague compromises, or symbolic participation without commitment. Our intervention also provides valuable neutrality in organizations where internal balances can be sensitive. We seek fact-based opinions, facilitate arbitration, and help turn differences into arguments that can be useful for decision-making. We also ensure discipline and execution, a pace, decision-oriented deliverables, adoption criteria, and a governance model that continuously links the design of the solution, the sequencing, and the actual capacity of the teams. In other words, we help the company translate collective energy into results. When structured, initiated at the right level, and rigorously supported, co-construction is one of the most reliable ways of achieving this strategic, managerial, and operational consistency throughout the transformation lifecycle and making it sustainable. Want to find out more? Join us on alpionys.ch. alpionys.ch.